Hey everyone, this is a screencast to go over the grant, which was called Advancing Veteran Success in Higher Education. Um, this is Mickey Ebert speaking, and my partner is Shelby McCall. Going over this particular grant, it is funded by the Walmart Foundation for Vocational Acceleration Grants Program. It is a grant that is done by three colleges: Del Mar College, Tarrant County College, and Wake Technical Community College. Del Mar is in California, Tarrant is in Texas, and Wake Technical is in North Carolina. Purpose and goals of this grant. The purpose of this goal or of this grant is in the statement that this is a workforce development focused on delivering vocational education to veterans and transitioning service members. Pretty much is stating what that is that it's trying to make sure that our veterans have the skills necessary in order to enter the workforce and get jobs in the workforce. The project goals provide employment opportunities, deliver vocational education, and build on background knowledge and experience of these veterans and prepare them for fulfilling careers. Some of the activities associated with this grant, it was a three-step approach in order to implement this program. First is recruiting. They had to find a student base that is surrounded by veterans and molding an outreach program to find more veterans to enroll, which basically means they had to find the veterans and then use those connections to somewhat network in order to find more veterans so they could keep enrolling students into the program. The second part was delivering instruction and training. They did this by building upon previous experiences that the veterans had, and they used this to build upon their knowledge base and to help them establish a career path that was most suitable for them. Achieving and growing program impact was the third step. Right, what this meant was reviewing results of veterans who have been out of the program for 1 year to see where they stood. Did they get a job? How successful they were in the job and such. So some of the results from the program. Within the three schools, 282 veterans were enrolled. Pretty good considering three schools. Three colleges, I should say. There was a very high completion rate of 87%, with Tarrant College reporting a 100% completion rate, which is outstanding. Now, come the conclusions of the program. All right, the program was effective in preparing students for vocational professions. We know that from the fact that most of the students did get training that would help them in the workforce and help them get positions. The purpose of the grant was obtained to establish workforce development programs which delivered vocational education. From that standpoint, it did do that. But you will see in the next slide how that is somewhat of a misnomer per se. Some of the lessons learned from this grant. Employment rate is somewhat low across the three schools after 30 days. That was something that was seen across all three, is that some of them had, well, I should only say one of them had a very high success rate of getting them employed within the first 30 days, but also within the first 60 days. But the rest of them had trouble actually finding positions for them. A focus should be established on recruiting employers as well. That's something that was not outlined in the grant, and we should probably, if I were overseeing this, that's something we need to do to ensure that the employment of veterans is something that they can do for long-term success, because the grant and this program in general will not make it if the veterans are not employed at the end. So maybe there should be a recruiting effort, not just for students, but also a recruiting effort to find employers for this program as well, so that our veterans can receive gainful employment at the completion of this program. Sustainability. Okay, so some of the parts that we believed would help sustain the program and make it viable is outreach and recruitment of not just the students, but also partners and employers who can make sure that this program remains successful. The program established the use of existing resources, that meaning what they already had in place, infrastructure, and students' past experiences. Build upon the success that the veterans have and what they know and are knowledgeable about in order to get them in a career direction that suits them best. Raise stakeholders' veterans IQ, okay, by providing tools and knowledge needed to understand the needs of veterans. So what do they need in order to be successful? It's not just something that they are, necessarily what best suits them, but what do they need in order to be successful in this program, whether it be, you know, mental health or just a accumulation of more skills in that field. Just because they're knowledgeable doesn't mean they know everything about the field per se. So the other thing that we brought up was gather data and feedback to tailor training for area employers' needs, because that's something that was not mentioned, but it could probably be extremely helpful, so that we could, if we were in this, that they would be trained appropriately for what's available in the job market, especially in those regional job markets to where those three colleges were, and develop a vision and a plan of action moving forward. What do they need to make sure that this remains sustainable? And that's kind of, you know, we outline some of that, but also, you know, look at the program from a whole and do what needs to be done in order to make sure that this program can, you know, last for a while. Because I think the need for the program is a definite, but it's not something that if the veterans are not successful, it's not something that would last very long, I don't think, because it would just be hard to keep giving it money if the purpose of the program was to find the veterans, or allow them to gain knowledge, but also careers. If they're not getting both, it would be really hard to justify the program per se. Well, I hope you all have enjoyed our presentation, and I look forward to going over everyone's and seeing what everyone else did with theirs as well. Hope you all are having a great afternoon. Bye.